let's compare the North Face Borealis to the Patagonia Refugio. For this comparison, we have both the men's and women's Borealis, plus the Refugio 30-liter backpack with the bungee. Now, to make it easy, we're going to score them in 6 different categories and use a scoreboard to keep track of the winner. Starting with the pockets. Now, from the outside, things look very similar. Both are going to have side water bottle pockets and a top pocket for quick access to items. But the inside of these bags couldn't be any more different. The Patagonia Refugio is missing the organizer compartment found in the Borealis, and this compartment has tons of pockets for all of your smaller everyday items. Out of curiosity, we counted the number of pockets in each backpack, and the Borealis has a total of 10 pockets while the Refugio only has 6. But Patagonia is playing a bit of a dirty trick, because 3 of those pockets are on the removable laptop sleeve. So if you remove the sleeve, you're left with 3 pockets instead of 6. The 2 side pockets and the top pocket, that's it. Furthermore, the quality of the pockets are going to be much better on the Borealis. The front pocket is fleece lined to protect stuff like sunglasses and tech, while the one on the Refugio just has a polyester lining. You also get a fleece lined pocket in the organizer compartment, plus a padded pocket on top for something like a small tablet. This makes those mesh pockets on the Refugio look and feel really cheap in comparison. Although it's obvious that the Borealis wins this round, all of those extra pockets do come at a cost, which leads us to weight. It's clear that Patagonia has designed the Refugio 30-liter to be as lightweight as possible. It's made with 400 denier recycled polyester, and it has side pockets made out of stretchy mesh. The North Face Borealis, on the other hand, comes in 2 varieties: recycled ripstop nylon or recycled heathered polyester. It also has a thicker abrasion-resistant material on the side pockets and the bottom. Add in those extra pockets, and the result is a much heavier backpack, with the men's pack weighing in at 2 pounds and 5 ounces, and the Refugio 30-liter only weighing 1 pound and 12 ounces. And you can feel the weight difference, with the Refugio being more thin and pliable, whereas the Borealis has a lot more padding everywhere. The back panel and shoulder harness especially is a lot heavier on the Borealis, and we will compare the two later when we get to comfort. But for right now, we're giving this round to the Refugio 30-liter. Now, both backpacks take completely different approaches to laptop carry. Although both of them have laptop compartments in the back, the laptop sleeve on the Refugio is completely removable, which is pretty unique. Now, both of these are 15-inch laptop compartments, but you can fit slightly larger laptops. You just have to make sure that your laptop is under the sleeve dimensions for each backpack. Protection-wise, the Borealis is amazing. It has a very generous false bottom that lifts the laptop up about 5 inches from the bottom of the bag. But with the Refugio, you don't have much of a false bottom. The padded laptop sleeve barely floats above. But the good news is that the Refugio sleeve offers 360 padding, and that includes the bottom. And honestly, it does a really good job at keeping the laptop protected. What they do have in common is that both have little Velcro hooks and pass-through ports, so that you can attach a hydration bladder and use them both as hiking backpacks. Not gonna lie, this is a tough call, so let's be generous and give them both a point. Is that cheating? Next up, let's compare the bungee and exterior storage. The Refugio has a really basic bungee setup. You place your item underneath and then cinch it in place. There is really nothing special about it. But the bungee on the Borealis is a game changer. It has these clips in the middle that allow you to open up the bungee cord, place your item exactly where you want it, and then cinch it in place. This makes storing items in the bungee so much easier and faster. However, what you're going to be missing on the Borealis are lash points. The Borealis really doesn't have anywhere to add attachments, but the Refugio gives you a loop for a bike light at the bottom. And it has these small loops for attaching gear on the corners. The Refugio also has these compression straps on the sides, which allows you to secure longer items inside the side pockets like you see here with the camera tripod. While the Borealis, believe it or not, uses more bungee for compression, which is, creative, but it does have regular compression straps on the bottom. And these are used not only to compress your backpack, but could also be used for additional storage as well. Here we have a jacket on the bottom and shoes in the bungee, and we've expanded our storage by a lot. Because of the extra storage, plus how easy it is to use the bungee, this round has to go to the Borealis. Now let's compare the main packing compartments. Now the Refugio has 30 liters of packing space, but the Borealis has 28 liters and 27 liters for the men's and women's. But what's interesting is that the men's Borealis and the Refugio 30 are close to the same size. The men's Borealis is just half an inch taller. But then why does it have less packing space? It's because the front organizer compartment on the Borealis eats into the main compartment space and gives it less room. And you can see here when packed exactly the same, the Refugio has a little bit more room to spare for an extra item. It's the same deal with the women's Borealis, except you will also get a little less space on top. So if you want the bag with the most wide open packing room, the 30-liter Refugio is going to be your best bet. And for the last round, and probably the most important, we have comfort features. The Borealis comes in a men's and women's version, and this allows you to really dial in your fit. So if you have narrow shoulders and a shorter torso, go with the women's. And if you're taller and have broad shoulders, go with the men's version. The Refugio 30-liter is just one size. If you want to go smaller, you have to go with the Refugio 26-liter. And we do have a separate Refugio comparison video if you want to know the difference. When it comes to fit, the model is 5'6", and this is what the women's Borealis looks like next to the Refugio 30-liter. And here is the men's Borealis, and you can see that it's slightly longer than the Refugio. Now, the way these backpacks feel when worn are completely different. The Borealis has thinner, stiffer straps made of dense foam, while the Refugio's straps are thicker and much more padded. And if you look on top, there's a really important difference. The Refugio 30-liter has load lifters. This allows you to pull the backpack weight closer to your center of gravity, but the Borealis has a one-up on adjustments. Both backpacks offer chest straps, but only the Borealis includes a waist belt. Not to mention, each North Face backpack comes with a little built-in whistle on the chest strap. The back panels are also worlds apart. The Borealis has a very stiff back panel, and you can see how it's a little hard to bend. You also get lumbar support and upper back padding with plenty of air channels for breathability. While the Refugio has zero stiffness. Look, it's bending like a pretzel. You can instantly see how different the padding is too, with just two padded sections and way less air channels for breathability. Now, although there are pros and cons with both, the Borealis edges out the Refugio in terms of overall comfort and wins the point. And here is the final score, with the Borealis winning 4-3. Honestly, a lot of the features that we covered in this comparison will come down to personal preference. So what's important is that you pick the best backpack for your needs. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a like. And as always, thank you so much for watching.